Hello everyone and welcome to this lecture. In the previous lecture, we covered the comparison operators and we watched how can we actually compare two parameters together using the either equal, not equal, greater than or equal, and so on and so forth. In this section, we're going to cover what we call it logical operators, okay? Which is simply if you wanted to compare two parameters in a logical format, from a logical perspective. All right, let's take a look at what they mean by logical. Let's assume that we wanted, for example, to say or to perform an ANDing between two variables. Okay, what do you mean by an AND or what do you mean by an OR? Let's assume that we wanted, for example, to say, okay, is true and false, for instance. Okay, so again, true means 1, false means 0. Okay, so when I say logical operators, that means the AND or, okay, that's pretty much all what I meant by logical operators, and or mainly, okay? So when I say and, all right, that means I'm saying, okay, if this condition has to be true and this condition has to be true in order for the entire result to be true. All right, what do you mean by this? So let's take a look. So when I say true, please remember that true means 1. Okay, that's the overall idea. True, that means 1. False means 0. So here I'm saying, okay, is 1 and 0, what's the answer when I do 1 and 0? Think of the ANDing operation as simply as multiplication. Think of it this way. It's not clearly multiplication, but think of it as multiplication. So when you multiply 1 by 0, the answer will be equals to 0, all right, which is false. Let's run that, and that's actually what we have got here. So when I say if I wanted to perform true and false, the answer will gonna be false. All right, so okay, again, from a logical perspective, when I say and, that means both conditions have to be true in order for the outcome to be true. So here I'm saying, okay, this has to be true and this has to be true in order to generate a true output. All right, let's take a look at another example. Let's assume true and true, which is 1 and 1. Let's compare that. So the answer here, what answer do we expect? If we run that, that will generate true, that will generate 1, which makes sense. Here I'm saying this condition is true and as well this condition was true. So the ANDing both of them will generate a true value. All right, let's take a look at another example. Let's assume we're gonna ANDing false and true, which is simply I'm saying, okay, I wanted to false again means 0. ANDing the true means 1. So the answer here we're going to be 0. Let's run that, and that will generate a false. Why? Because in order for the AND gate, okay, in order for the AND logical operator to generate 1, both conditions have to be true. So this has to be true, and this has to be true as well in order to generate true output. All right, what about false and false? So if I say false and false, okay, please make sure it's uppercase. That means 0, ANDing 0, and the output should be obviously 0. So if we'd say 0, false and false, that would generate output is false. All right, and that's pretty much what do you mean by the AND operation or the AND gate. Let's take a look at the OR gate or the AND or the OR operation. So when it comes to OR, okay, if any of the two conditions is true, that's it, done, we're good. Here I'm saying, okay, if the first condition is true or the first or the second condition is true, the output will gonna be true as well, okay? So OR is actually better than, the AND, which is, the OR simply will only gonna generate 0 or only we're gonna generate false if both inputs are actually false or both inputs are actually zeros. All right, let's take a look. So I'm gonna say, okay, let's say true or true. That should generate true. So here I'm saying 1 or 1. So the output should be 1. Let's run that. That would tell me, okay, true or true is actually true. So true or false, all right, which is simply again here, that means I'm saying 1 or 0. Let's run that. That will generate true. Why? Because when we use OR, if any of the inputs is true, then the output will gonna be true as well. All right. If I say, for example, okay, false or true, okay, then here I'm saying, okay, 0 or 1, right? Which is false again means 0, true means 1. If I run that, that will generate true as well. So please bear in mind that for when it comes to OR operation, if any of the inputs is true, again here one of them was true, one of them was true, one of them was true, the output will going to be true all along the way. The only case the OR will going to generate false, well, if both inputs are false. So we're going to say, okay, false or false, which simply means 0 or 0, that will generate simply 0. Please bear in mind that here 1 or 0, that will generate 1, and 0 or 1, that should generate 1. Let's run that, and that's what we got here. We got false, which makes complete sense. All right, perfect. Okay, so that's pretty much all what I wanted to cover when it comes to AND and OR. Let's take a look at kind of more practical example into an actual combining kind of the logical operators along with the comparison operators in just one statement. Let's assume that I wanted to evaluate this condition. I wanted to say, is 6 greater than 2, okay, and is 2 equals 5, right? So please, without running, for example, this cell, please tell me what do you expect? So simply here, I'm saying, okay, is 6 greater than 2? Well, what do you expect here on that condition? Well, that the first element was actually true. So that means the first one was true. And I'm saying and, right? I'm saying is 2, here I'm asking, is 2 equals 5? Well, the answer is false, right? So when I perform true and false, if you guys remember, if I do true here and true and false, the answer will be false. Because again, when you do and, that means I'm asking, this condition has to be true and this condition has to be true in order for the output to become true. So that means here I'm expecting the answer to be false. Let's run that, and that's what we got. We got false. All right. So here I'm gonna leave you guys for just a quick challenge, okay? And I'm gonna ask you to evaluate these two conditions. So I'm gonna asking, is 6 greater than 2, or is 2 equals to 5? And I'm gonna have another challenge as well. I'm gonna say, is 2 equals to 3, and is 4 equals to 3, and I'm gonna say is 10 equals to 10. All right, so please go ahead guys and pause the video, and just without running these cells, let me know, what do you expect? Do you expect here the answer will gonna be false or true, and here the answer gonna be false or true? All right, please go ahead, and I'll see you guys after the challenge. All right, I hope you guys were able to figure out the challenge. So here I'm saying, okay, is 6 greater than 2? Well, this answer, well, that's true. And I'm saying, or is 2 equals to 5 or not? So, well, 2 is actually not equal to 5. So that means here I'm saying, is 2 equals to 5? Well, that was false, right? If I say true or false, since we have or here, then the outcome should be true. Because again, when it comes to OR, if any of the input is true, the outcome will be true. All right, let's run that. Well, that's pretty good. Let's do the other next challenge. Here I'm saying, is 2 equals to 3? Well, that was false. And I'm gonna say, okay, is 4 equals to 3? Well, that was false as well. And is 10 equals to 10? Well, that was true. All right, so when it comes to AND, if any of the inputs to the AND gate is false or is 0, the outcome will gonna be 0. So here I'm expecting to be false. All right, let's run that, and that's what we've got. We got false. All right, and that's pretty much all what I have for the section. Let's recap what we have done. So in this section, we covered the logical operators. So now we know how can we perform ANDing operation, how can we perform OR operation, and here how can we make them somehow into some of the comparison operators that we have done in the past, in the previous section, to come up with kind of more logic, or kind of, you know, like an advanced logic in a way. All right. Okay, in the next section, we're going to cover the conditional statements, which is very exciting. I'm super excited because now we're actually going to combine all what we have learned so far to perform what we call it if-else condition, which is kind of the foundation when it comes to programming in general. I hope you guys enjoyed that lecture, and see you in the next lecture.